Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. And before we get today's video done with, I'm going to mention my March Madness bracket. I kind of just playing with my friends this year, not really joining any leagues or some things like that. But here's my final four. I'm not going to start going into the details. I listened to almost 4 hours of podcast. I'm still not done. Actually, 3 out of the 4 hours I'm almost done with. So I'm listening through the entire thing, just kind of getting an idea about what teams are which, kind of getting some betting ideas. But I have here are my final four. Gonzaga versus Alabama. I have Gonzaga winning that. And then Illinois versus, I had Villanova, but it could be Arkansas. I might just switch it to Arkansas. I'll switch it right now, actually. I have the bracket in front of me. I'll switch it to Arkansas. They're kind of like a fast running gun team, but it's just like 2 out of 4 teams in the SEC. I can't really see that. But yeah, that's my final four. But let's get into the Giants talk. Kenny Golladay, baby. I said he was a missing piece a couple days ago. I came out the whole video. All my videos now have been about Kenny Golladay because he's so important to this team. Now, the injury is kind of concerning. There's a reason why the Bengals and the Giants are only teams coming after him. But I think if we take a look at the teams that have a lot of money, the Jaguars, they went elsewhere on a more stable contract, and they had Marvin Jones. Now, they could have went after Kenny Golladay, but I think that, they went after Marvin Jones, like a cheaper contract. Maybe Kenny Golladay didn't want to play for the Jaguars. Do you ever think about that? He apparently he wants a lot of money, but maybe he didn't want to play for a Jaguars. Now, another team with a lot of money is the Miami Dolphins. And he didn't want to go there. Well, I don't think they want him because they have pick number 3. They're going to have the best wide receiver in the draft. That's it. Why would you wait after a guy like that? Now, Kenny Golladay kind of screwed himself. A lot of people have been mentioning it. He was offered $18 million a year, but he didn't want to play for Detroit. He wants to play for a winning franchise. I was listening to Tim with Online Big Blue talking about basically the Giants, how a lot of players, well, not a lot of players, but Kevin Zeitler and Marcus Golden have come out and said they've had troubling past with the Giants, because I think it's a little bit of sour grapes here, as cliche as it is to say and as obvious I think it is. I think that's the take. Kevin Zeitler's like, I want a stable franchise. Yeah, that's because he's dealt with coaches coming in and out. The first year, Joe Judge in a pandemic. Obviously, things are not going to be run totally smoothly. And, you've been in a friend group, right? It feels like you don't really fit in. Like, everyone else is doing one thing. The coaches can't really adhere, can't really be favored by everybody. You always have that one friend. He seems like he's great, but you always just hate that one guy. So I don't know why I hate him. I just do. Or maybe it was like that one exchange that happened. He just turned you on the wrong way. Maybe because everyone likes him, that's why you hate him. It's like, what's so great about this guy? A little bit jealousy. I'm not sure if it's like jealousy. I don't know the analogy I'm trying to make here. But what I'm trying to say, you can't please everyone. You can't give everybody all the snaps that they want. Yeah, we were trying to develop the youth this year, and Marcus Golden obviously wasn't a part of the future of the Giants, so why would we all of a sudden start him all the time? He's useful in practice. Zoe Carter going up against Andrew Thomas, kind of teaching him how to counter moves by a veteran guy. I think that helped him a little bit this year, and you can't please everybody. And Kevin Zeitler, obviously, he has a family, kids. He's not too happy that the Giants decided to cut him a couple days after he announced the birth or the pregnancy of his wife, and they're expecting a second child. Obviously, you don't want to get up and move. So it's all rough, and he didn't want to stay with us. He didn't want to negotiate, so we're like, okay, just leave. We're not going to pay you, $14 million in a COVID year, and then with Nate Solder, we're not doing that. Nate Solder is like, you know what? The Giants organization treat me well because they respected my family. That shows the Giants are humble. Logan Ryan would tell you something very different about the New York Giants. Or did I say Logan Ryan? Yeah, Logan Ryan would tell you something very different about the New York Giants. Okay, so let's get back into Kenny Golladay. My prediction, what's going to happen, my concerns. Now, I already mentioned Miami a little bit. They have a third overall pick, and they don't want to draft a wide receiver. Or they do want to draft a wide receiver. They don't want to go after like a top guy in free agency. I understand. They're like, why double dip? Now, you've also seen teams like the Patriots double dip at tight end. The Jets are in on 2 wide receivers this year. Apparently, Juju Smith-Schuster, they're having conversations with him. As far as the Bengals, they want to offer him a 1-year prove-it contract. I think he wants to go to a team that's going to make him successful. Now, I commented this on Tim Online Big Blue, a theme, but I commented this on his video. I said, if Kenny Golladay doesn't want to come play here, something's wrong with Daniel Jones. There should be, if Daniel Jones is like the real deal, he should have players wanting and clamoring to come here because he's successful. Well, stop with all this Joe Judge hype. We believe in Daniel Jones. Let's see what his opinions are in the league. Now, if Kenny Golladay wants to come here because of Daniel Jones, that'll make me so hype. If he says, Daniel Jones is my quarterback, that'll make me so hype because there's nothing really attracting anybody to New York City now. It's a failing city. It's seen better days, let's just say that. after this whole pandemic, a lot of people are leaving. Everyone wants to move to Florida, the shutdowns, everything like that. There's few things tied to New York City. And the fact, again, Kenny Golladay would want to come would make me so hype about Daniel Jones. But if he doesn't, that'll make me pretty upset. I think he's going to sign a 2-year, $14 million per year contract. I think it's going to be worth more money next year, like a team option next year, and then we'll renegotiate if he stays healthy. Because right now, I think the health is the major concern with a lot of teams and why he hasn't been signed just yet. This is BNA Breaking News. The Giants signed Kyle Rudolph to a 2-year, $16 million deal. I made a video that I didn't upload talking about how we should go after a guy like David Njoku, a guy like Jonnu Smith, who ended up signing with the Patriots, and a guy like Kyle Rudolph, who's a contested catch machine. I wanted this guy. And I just want to talk about 2 minutes about this. That means I think we're pretty much out of the... I think we're pretty much out on Kyle Pitts, obviously. That means at this point, Evan Ingram... That's going to be really interesting to do. We may trade him someplace. The Chargers, who are looking for a tight end, those things just swirl up in my mind. I like this breaking news stuff. But as far as Kenny Golladay, I just said 2 years, $14 million a year. I think that means we have to sign him to a Leonard Williams type deal. This means right now we're going to have to sign him to a 4-year, $60 million deal with just backloaded. And that could be dangerous. But I said, we have nobody signed in 2024. Now you're hoping that Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, you're extending guys like James Bradbury, but these guys are getting old. Wow. There's so many things. We'll continue to talk about this, but that's just my first instant reaction to this thing. As far as the draft, goodbye Kyle Pitts. Hello, maybe even Jalen Waddle, depending on if we sign Kenny Golladay or not. But if we end up signing Kenny Golladay too, and then we could just be like, hey, I want Elijah Vera Tucker. Are you kidding me? Dave Gettleman, you better make this cap work out somehow. That's going to be great. That's going to be amazing. Okay, let's get on to the rest of the video. I'm not sure what I talk about, but I'm pretty sure it's something good. Man, if we get Kenny Golladay, it would just create so much flexibility for the draft. Because if we go like, Rashad Bateman, okay, we get Rashad Bateman, and you can even like trade Sterling Shepard away, or you can have an elite wide receiver core. Okay, I'll be fine with that. Or you can go after Elijah Vera Tucker and be like, okay, let's go after a guard. His value is really like 15 to 20 in my opinion. But why not a guard? You have Will Hernandez developing Shane Lemieux. I'm like, that would be pretty sick. And then in the second round, you can go after a defensive end like Joseph Osai. So all of a sudden, all the Giants fans complaining, I think it's going to work out fine. Now, as far as other teams, I'm going to go back. Sometimes I'm all mumble jumble, and in the editing process, I'm like, why can't I just streamline my thoughts here? Why can't I just go back to back? But I'm going to go back to teams that also could have pursued Kenny Golladay. The Jaguars, losing franchise. Another team, the Patriots, maybe he didn't want to play. He just didn't want to play for that Bill Belichick system. They've already spent a lot of money on other wide receivers. Patriots had other priorities. They want to go heavy tight end because that's who they are. That's pretty much it. The Panthers, they want to go all in on on Deshaun Watson. So starting to sign free agents like that maybe not be the best idea because they're going to have to pay Deshaun Watson $40 million the minute he comes in. You also have the Washington football team. They got their guy in Curtis Samuel, a fit by Ron Rivera. You also have that's another team with a lot of money. But you can start seeing time after time there are teams that don't that are not really a fit for Kenny Golladay. And I think that the Giants, if we're smart, we sign him to a contract. The Broncos, they already have a lot of wide receivers. The Chargers also have a lot of wide receivers. Taking a look at the cap right now. The Titans, it would be interesting if they go after Kenny Golladay. That is an interesting one. You have that. You have Ryan Tannehill. But the fact that Kenny Golladay wants to come here, hopefully it's real and hopefully it's emotion. But I'm excited to see what he looks like in blue. He's a missing piece. I'm so excited. Again, I keep on saying excited because I am excited. That's pretty much all I have to say. Sometimes I didn't say something in the video. I'm like, I'll just put it on the graphic because I forgot to say it. But I'll just put it on the graphic so people kind of see what I'm talking about too. But I hope you guys didn't enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.